My name is Linda Whiteford and I'm duty manager at Culross Palace. I first came here because I had brought up three premature kids, and I had worked before for a long time in tourism PR. I had worked in radio, and I just fancied getting back to work when my youngest son, went off to high school. And I thought a wee job as part-time housekeeper would be just the thing for me, and it's only half an hour from home. So I came for that job. I didn't get that job. I was offered the assistant manager's job. And for some reason, I've been here ever since. That was in 2015. Culross means holy point in Gaelic. Culross is it's a hidden gem. It's not quite as hidden as it used to be because it's been in so many film productions. It's been a star of Outlander. It's been in The Little Vampire. It's been in Captain America. It's been on all sorts. And a new film about pumpkins, which is coming out next year, called Grow. It's just the centre of the beginning of Scottish industry as we know it. George Bruce built this place in this part in 1597. And it was his home and his business centre. Now, George Bruce was descended from Robert the Bruce, but he was the third born son. He wasn't going to inherit any of the money from his family. So he had to make his money, and he had a great engineer's brain. And he came up with the idea of taking over the mining rights from the monks up the road in the Abbey. And he basically created the world's most successful underwater coal mine. He also had salt production going on along the shore of the river here, and he made an absolute fortune from it, selling it abroad to the Baltic countries and also to the Low Countries, to the Netherlands and Belgium. He was a kindly man, he was a tax collector, he was the king's treasurer of his silver mines, but first and foremost he was a father and the laird in the town, and he was, I think, a kindly man. He thought very highly of people that tried to do good. He tried to do good. He had to get involved in the witch trials because your king being James VI and first, told him to. King James wrote a book called Demonology, which actually came out in 1597 when this palace was built. And it was basically about how to look for evil in witches, how to conduct the witch trials, and how to prosecute them. And if you basically didn't follow those rules, and your minister was telling you, your king was telling you to do this, if you didn't do that, you could be accused of being in league with the devil too. So George had to get involved. Now, I think he did it for the right reasons, to keep his health and his wealth and his livelihood, and those are the people around him and in the town. But I think other folk beneath him, for example, his son and his other members of his family and the Baileys in the town, I think they did it for the wrong reasons. Basically a money-making exercise, because the longer your witch took to confess, the more their families had to pay, and the money went to the minister and the councillors of the town. And there were recorded about 4,000 witch trials up and down Scotland. Those are the ones that were recorded. There's an awful lot that weren't. And an awful lot of people, men, women, children, passed away in the process of eking out a confession. It was difficult times for a long time here. And this was part of it as well. Culross was just one of the many small places that were involved in hunting out evil, and usually it was a woman who was knowledgeable, maybe a bit mouthy, maybe liked to shout her case. Anybody that looked a bit different. Somebody with a mark on their face or a birthmark or something. If you didn't like your neighbour, you could say your neighbour turned your cow's milk sour. That was enough to cast suspicion. Terrible times. But it's part of our history, and we're lucky to still be here. And it is a wonderful place to visit. We've got these beautiful buildings. 1597, still here, painted interiors. We've got the gardens up the back, the village itself. the original buildings from the 16th century, 17th century, 18th century. We're the real deal, and this is why so many people come to visit us. And we're a normal working village. We're not a museum village. This is a normal working village with a school and a community centre and community gardens, and it's just the most beautiful little place by the sea. And I feel very fortunate to work here. For 10 years I've been writing down all the amazing things that have happened to me, that I've seen, but then I'd rather somebody else saw what I was seeing or experienced what I was experiencing, because I could just be making it up, couldn't I? When you get it verified 100 times over by visitors or by staff, or when people in the village come to tell you about the spirits in their house, and I get asked to go and visit, and I don't need to know much, but I can see the spirits, or I can feel the spirit, and I can tell you this place is linked. If you believe in ley lines and energy lines that crisscross the world, this place is linked with Rosslyn Castle, and then it goes beyond to Stonehenge and then onto the pyramids, if you like. But we are basically crisscrossing all these energy lines, and all these places that were important places, religious places, they're all based on the energies in the ground. I'm absolutely sure, because we have an abbey here, Culross Abbey. There's an abbey in Dunfermline. This is the beginning of the Pilgrim Way that goes right across Fife and goes up to St Andrews, which was a major religious settlement in medieval times and before. But before that, there were pagan people here. There were people believing in other sorts of energy forms. And we have spirits. I know personally, we have spirits in this area that belong to all those time periods. And I know their names. I know an awful lot of them. You get to know them here because they are very happy to interact. And it's not just me, it's our staff, it's our visitors, and it's every other day. And something will happen, or somebody sees something, or somebody feels something. And it's just lovely, because I've got colleagues that are living, and I've got colleagues that have passed away as well. I feel like I have actually lived here before as well, and I've got other friends that I know who feel that they've had other lifetimes here. I have a colleague, you can hear the cleaning in the background. I have a colleague who just found out that she has ancestors from Culross. We're all kind of brought here for a reason, and the reason is we all just get on brilliantly with people now and people in the past. And now I'm learning to ask the people from the past to tell us more about themselves, and the history is revealing itself. It is just fantastic. Every day is literally a school day here. You know, you can see this place in the village, never mind the palace and the gardens. Every time you come back to visit, you'll see something new or learn something new. There is no good time to visit. Every time is a good time to visit. And when it gets into your bones, this place, it'll never leave you. It's iconic. I'm not kidding, there's something about Culross that is just like a magnet. And if you're meant to be here, you will be here, and you will come back again. It's a really special place. And whether it's the energies of the river going by as well, just stirring everything up and just making you want to, pulling you back in. And the water that goes underneath, there are wells everywhere. The water comes off the hill at the back. The energies are just there, and you feel it when you come here. You feel like you're walking in history, and you're making history while you're here, and you will always come back to that. So there's no good day. Every day is a good day.